if I just put my all in, it's gonna be successful and it's gonna reach the level that I need it to reach. That was my mindset from my educational journey. Going into real life, putting my all into something and not necessarily receiving the harvest in the way that I hoped. I had to adjust my commitment to content creation to fit my current life goals. Life is lived forwards and understood backwards. Hello gorgeous people, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again, and in today's video we're going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me. I'm off to a wedding. I'm really excited. It's one of my close friends' weddings today, and it's going to be an amazing wedding, the wedding of Shimon and Doyin. It's going to be really good. I'm going to give myself 30 minutes to get ready because I've actually spent a lot of time like setting up and everything, but let's get on with this, guys. I'm also going to be doing a lovely catch up with you guys, and I'm in a bit of a rush as well, but hopefully we're gonna get into this and it's gonna be really nice. It's a bit of a vulnerable video for me, guys. Lots of things to talk about. I feel like because of the phase of life that I'm in, there might be a few of these kind of videos kind of exploring my thoughts around like personal development and like career progression and that kind of thing. So, you know, keep your eyes peeled for those. I've already primed my face and I used the Kiko Milano matte face base. I really want to try the e.l.f. Hydro Grip Primer. Well, that's the one that I have for now, and I've still got loads in there actually. So we've done our primer. What next? Let's do our brows. Let's go to the brows, go to the brows, go to the brows. So you can see the title is a bit heavy. When your dream isn't working, navigating failure, delay, and like slow progression, because it's a real thing, guys, and we're not always taught how to like navigate this like very real situation that a lot of us sometimes find ourselves in. I'm just going to adjust to my camera slightly. Give me one moment. We're not always given like the tools on how to navigate this very like real situation that a lot of young adults find themselves in. So let's go for our brows. I'm in this phase of my life where like I'm really trusting God for some things. You guys know that I'm a person of faith. I'm a Christian. If you're joining us for the first time, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And I've been saved now for my whole life. Really, I've been Christian, but I would say that I really came to a good understanding of the gospel in the last 5 years or so. I did press on nails for the first time, guys, and the way I have to be like careful because I've heard that they can just pop off at any time, but Sha said let me try it and see how it goes. I'm using the Barry M Hold Up Brow Gel. Okay, so as I say, I'm in this phase in my life where I'm like really believing God for some things. In terms of like career progression, getting my life together, personal development in there, lots of personal development in there. But I think everything kind of boils down to and rides on the need for financial stability. All my current life goals rely and require more financial stability. Let me put it that way. I'll say that over the years, I've gotten to a place where I've been getting very good with my finances. Now it's getting real. You know, it's getting real. And you guys know, well, let me not say you guys know, because we might have some new peoples in here. I've been a creative for about, well, pursuing creativity for about 10 years. I would say you've always kind of had your thing in you. But yeah, I've been pursuing creativity for about 10 years now. So what a ride it has been. There's been a lot of highs, many lows as well. It's brought me a lot of success over the years. It's got me, I would say, some level of like internet fame. I'm a celebrity. Even though I wouldn't say like I'm like the biggest celebrity out there, but there is some celebrity status. So it's gotten me a lot over the years. It's actually it's earned me a lot of money as well over the years. But I'm not getting to a stage where it's like there's a place I want to be financially that, if I'm honest, it's just not giving as much as I need it to give, you know? So content creation is something that I've kind of given my all in the last 5 years or so, because obviously 10 years ago I was still in school. So I was juggling, and then especially in uni, I had to kind of take a back seat from it. Just filling in my brows a little bit. I had to kind of take a back seat from it so that I can, get good grades. And that was my aim. Once I get my grades and I graduate with my first class, that was my aim. And to the glory of God, I graduated with the first class in my degree, medical physiology. And my thing was, once I've done that, I can now focus on and pursue creativity full time. One thing my educational journey taught me is, if you just put your all, you'll get something out, or you get what you want out. And to the glory of God, like, educationally, my prayers had always been answered. Well, except for the fact that I wanted to go to medical school, and that didn't really work out for me. So there was a bit of heartbreak in my education journey, and I went into medical physiology instead as a degree. But then I guess, not even I guess I was definitely like compensated in a sense of I graduated with the highest grade possible. So that gave me some peace that, okay, yes, I've done my education and I've done it really well. Now I've built this love and passion for this thing called media. So if I just put my all in, it's gonna be successful and it's gonna reach the level that I need it to reach. That was my mindset from my educational journey. Life is different to school. Life is different to school. And even now that I look back, I would say that came from a level of privilege. I was very graced to be a very intelligent person. I would say that when I was younger, I did pray. I remember praying to God, I want to be brilliant. God, make me brilliant. That's what we used to call it in Nigeria. God, make me brilliant, make me brilliant. I'm looking for my blending brush, concealer blending brush. Oh, I think I see you. Yeah. So my prayer when I was a young girl was, God, make me brilliant, because in Nigeria we were told, the way to be successful is through your education, God, make me brilliant. I believe God answered my prayer. So now looking back, I realized that there were even some students that put their all in, but if their IQ is not up there like that, it may still not work out. So for me, it was a shock, like going into real life, putting my all into something and not necessarily receiving the harvest in the way that I hoped, or to the level that I hoped. And I want to be very careful with my language, because this journey has been good. It has been brilliant. It has been amazing. It has yielded results. There was just kind of like a level. There's a level you hope for. You aim for something, and when you haven't quite landed there, it can be a bit disappointing, even though you're trying to be grateful for what the reward you're already seeing. Do you understand? So I want to be careful with my language, and I don't want to come across as ungrateful for the journey. So it looks like my brows are done. We're going to do our color corrector. Okay, so I've kind of reached, based on, what I wanted versus what kind of came out of it, or what has come out of it so far. Media is my passion and is what I wanted to do, or I've always wanted to do, not always, but from developing a passion from it in uni, it's what I wanted to do full time. That was my aim. So when I come out of uni, if I just put my all into my channel, developing it into the Mo Chunk show, and then I developed Mo Chunk's TV. My thing was, if I just put my all in, I'm going to reach success and I'm going to be able to do this full time. Full time in a sense of it's able to be my bread and butter, you know? And it's able to sustain me financially. And then I really had to reach a place of acceptance, especially this year. I really had to reach a place of acceptance that, okay, maybe that's not happening right now. Even if it is still gonna happen, it's not happening right now. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there's been moments when I felt like a bit of a failure, in a sense of not reaching the level that I wanted to reach, which is, you know, being a freelance creator and the different branches that come out of it. So things like, you know, presenting and doing workshops and, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's, you know, I wanted to be that creator that at least my views, you know, there's brand sponsorships and everything, but I never wanted to be that creator that would have to rely on brand sponsorships. I wanted my income to be so good from my content that I will be selective about the brands I work with based on the stability that creation kind of gives me. That was kind of the aim. And I had to really come to a place of acceptance with content creation this year, and media producing, creativity in general, that this is not doing what you need to do based on your life goals. You have to analyze. You have to analyze where you want to be in life, because there's purpose and there's serving people and there's being a source of entertainment as a creative, and, you know, being a source of joy for people. But there's also you, like, you have to live your life, like, and you want to live well, I would assume. So there's also you based on how I want to live. And I'm not an extravagant person. Maybe when I'm rich one day I might discover I'm an extravagant person, but I just mean, like, you know, just sustaining yourself, you know, and having a few luxuries here and there and just living a good life, you know, just the normal life that everybody dreams of. So I had to just kind of accept that, okay, this isn't doing as well as I hope, but I don't want to kill my love and passion for it. I don't want to just stop showing up, but I did have to make some adjustments, and I'm sure you guys have been noticing, like, I don't upload as much these days. I upload maybe more frequently on, like, the TikToks and the Instagrams, because, like, YouTube has kind of changed. That's a whole other conversation. I don't want to really go off course. I've only given myself 30 minutes, even though I'm already 14 minutes into my 30 minutes, and that's because I'm rambling on to you guys. But yeah, so I have had to pivot. I've had to adjust, like, my commitment to content creation, I would say. That's a good way to describe it. I've had to adjust my commitment to content creation to fit my current life goals. And that's been, I was saying to someone at some point this year that, wow, I really understand when adults give up on their dreams. Like, I get it. Like, I actually get it now. There's a place where, you know, you have life goals. You want to live a certain way, and if your dream is not giving that as much as you love it and as much as you want to pursue it full time, if it's not giving you the stability that you need, you might have to, you know, I'm understanding why adults make that hard decision. Because you look back and say, oh, why did you give up on this? You were so good. If it's about talents, there will be many more creatives or active creatives in this world. But my thing with that is I didn't want to just completely give up. So I was happy to adjust and just show up when I can, you know? Just show up when I can. When I think about the amount of money that's been invested into this thing, wow. If this harvest comes, or when this harvest comes, I just pray, you know, I pray it's worth it. But I kind of just got to a stage where it's like, okay, let's make some calculated and smarter risks. Now I feel like I've made a lot of like foolish risks, like just investing certain, like I remember there was a time when I invested my house fund into like a creative studio space. So I chose the dream over like my primary need in that season of my life. And then sometimes you kind of look back and you regret, like, oh, you know, I could have sorted myself out first, you know, instead of pursuing something that now on the other side hasn't really given as much as I've hoped. This part of the video kind of sounds a bit miserable. Don't worry, it's gonna get really good and really like jovial soon. Now let's speak about the pivots and how that is a really real thing. Funny enough, I saw a video on TikTok yesterday, a lady called Lamide Elizabeth, and she talks about how a lot of influencers are going into like traditional jobs. And I was like, girl, it's as if you knew I was going to film this video tomorrow. Like literally I wrote down all my notes before I saw that video. I was like, it's as if you knew I was going to do this video. And that seems to be like a general consensus at the moment, where if it's not that content creators are moving away from YouTube because YouTube is not really giving as much as it used to, and they're now going to like TikTok and Instagram where their viewers are, which makes sense. It's a smart business move. It's either that or they are now moving more into like traditional jobs, or they are now launching businesses because the income from content creation for a lot of people is not given the way it used to, or it's not given to the level that you want it to give. Now in the pivot, I've also found some struggles. When you've been a creative at heart for the last 5 years or so, and you've pursued this like pretty much full time with occasional part-time roles. Now my concealer is finished. I normally use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and I went to town on 2 occasions actually to go find a new bottle, but they're always sold out, so I'm gonna have to go to my LA Girl. But what we're gonna do, we're first gonna use our Too Faced. It's not as bright as I need it to be, but we'll use it as a base concealer, and then we'll use the LA Girl on top. Okay, so struggles in the pivot, like trying to find a traditional role. I spoke earlier about dreaming again, and you know, as a creative, you can look for creative roles as well that are creative corporate roles. So like a stable 9 to 5, and like in my case, something like production would be suiting. A big one that people will advise you to get into is like social media management. But me and social media, we have an interesting relationship. I'm more of like a creator, like a producer. So looking for those kind of roles. And also like I have a medical physiology degree. So exploring things in those kind of like industries. That has been a bit of a struggle, I won't lie to you. As well, so struggles in the pivot, like okay, this isn't quite working out as well as I need it to be. It's working and it's good, but not as well as I need it to be in alignment with my current life goals. So pivoting into, or trying to pivot into other options also comes with its own challenges, especially when your CV doesn't really align with what the corporates kind of need based on what you've been doing what I've been doing for the last 5 years or so. So there's been a bit of a struggle with that, but I'm really pushing and trying to like maintain a positive attitude of like, you know, keep showing up, like keep trying, keep making the connections, you know, do what you need to do to kind of get to that place. I've been working a 9 to 5 for the last year and 6 months, something like that. In Q2 of last year was when I started working a 9 to 5. And I will say that I am way more financially stable. Like I'm way happier with my finances. So it's working in that sense. But then it's like you kind of have that thing at the back of your mind where you know you're creative at heart and you know what you would really want to be investing all your time into right now. But I would also say like you are still investing in yourself, by aligning with what is good for you and what you need right now. And that's what I was thinking about yesterday, actually. I was saying that sometimes what is good for you will hurt you. Like, it will be painful, but it's necessary. Most good things in life, eating healthy, working out, saying sorry to people when you're in the wrong, reaching out first, or keeping on reaching out when nobody reaches out to you. Most things that are good for you and your personal development are hard. Interestingly enough, I saw that Dream Nation is back yesterday. I don't know the full story, but I saw in the caption, be flexible with the route, but be stubborn about the goal. So the marathon continues. Like, you keep your goals in mind, but just be flexible about the route to get into where you want to get to. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to be quick with my blend. Now, this is a really fun bit for me, and has really helped me with like acceptance about the season that I'm in, with like creative dreams, let's call it that. I saw a tweet that, so beautiful. I just love when things align, like the thoughts that you're having and other people have similar thoughts. I'm just using my, what do you call this, Laura Mercier powder. Let's just put that on. I think the question was something like, what's the season that you're in, or what are you learning right now? And this gorgeous lady said, the art of living whilst you wait. And I thought, ooh, that's so good. So good. When you're believing God for something, you're pivoting, you're trying to advance in your life, you're showing up, you're being consistent. Sometimes you can get so obsessed with that journey that you forget to live. And you have to be so intentional that you don't get lost in your goals, that you don't get lost in your dreams, that your dreams don't become an idol, whether it's that you're dropping one dream and picking up another. You want to be so careful that you're actually living whilst you wait. And I saw on another podcast, somebody was about to call herself broke, and her friend said, no, you're in between blessings. Woo! When you're in between blessings, don't forget to live. And another thing that, is helping me really navigate this season, where I feel like I'm not really where I want to be, I'm in between blessings, is also that always remember that you're living in one of your answered prayers. Like, so live in it and enjoy it. Like, for me, I really struggled in relationships growing up. I don't know why. I don't know where it kind of came from. Maybe God just wanted to prune me in certain ways. Like, I struggled with relationships, and one of my prayers, was I really wanted like a healthy marriage. That was a prayer point for me. There was even a time when I gave up on relationships. I'm telling you, I was like, okay, it's okay. Like, if this thing is not for me, God, it's okay. I'll just move on and just be single and focus on my career and that kind of stuff. And I really meant it. And out of the blue, God blessed me with an amazing partner. So I'm living in one of my answered prayers. Cherish it, cherish the season that you're in. Really live and enjoy the season that you're in. If what God wants for me right now is to enjoy my marriage, why not just enjoy it? Until you get to your next blessing. I was really thinking about life and how I do believe that life is in phases. That's another thing that's given me peace. Life is in phases, especially when you're a young adult and you're trying to figure everything out. I know it feels like everyone has it all together. I know it feels that way. And some people do, don't get me wrong. Me and this liquid blush. Those who don't know, you're probably laughing in your houses right now, because what I should have done, I shouldn't have put the powder on before I put the blush on, but it's okay. I know it seems like everyone has it together, and some people do. Do not get me wrong. I'm not one of those people that will be saying, "Oh, some people are living fake life." No, some people are genuinely living good. That Instagram that you're seeing is their real life, and maybe even they're really enjoying even more than what they're putting on their Instagram. So don't get it twisted. Some people are living really good lives. But let me tell you another thing. Everyone has something they're looking forward to or working towards. Like, no one is ever, except if they've really worked at their contentment, no one is ever like fully satisfied with their lives. Most people, especially young adults, are working towards something. I'm telling you, when you speak to people, you realize that that you might be in a place where you're trusting God for a move in your career. Another one of your friends is trusting God for a relationship, but their career is good, and vice versa. Someone might be trusting God for their career, but their relationship is amazing. Someone might be in a marriage, and I know this is a very sensitive matter, so please don't take it in a wrong way. I'm just using it as an example. Someone might be in like the most healthy marriage, and they've got all their careers sorted, and they're now praying for kids. So like, everybody has a prayer point, but everybody is also, I believe, somewhat living in one of their answered prayers. So the Yorubas will say, "Enito lori o ni fila," "Enito ni fila o lori." So that means the person that has the head doesn't have the heart. The person that has the heart doesn't have the head. So especially as a young adult, there's going to be some things, the missing pieces to the puzzle of your life. And it's like, as you live it out, it comes together. I was reminded of this scripture. I believe it says, "And David had rest from all his enemies on all sides." And I do believe, like I said, life is in phases. At some point, everything will work itself out. All the areas of your life will be settled. The puzzles, the missing pieces of the puzzles of the different areas of your life that you're trusting God for will come together. Like, it will come together if God wills it for you. It's just in phases, and everyone has their own, this blush hasn't turned out too bad, and everyone has their own seasons and timings that this kind of all gets orchestrated and comes into fruition. So yes, Lady A, yes, it might be true that person A might have had everything come together for them age 19. Let's just give an example. Their finances came together, they got into a lovely relationship. I'm just thinking about things that most people aspire to. Most people want a healthy relationship, even if they don't want to get married. And some people want children, most people want to be financially stable. I'm just thinking about the things that people aspire to in life, and they want to be financially okay. Person A might have had all of that come together for them at a young age. Person B, it didn't happen for them, or it didn't all come together until they were in their 30s or their 40s. That doesn't mean that wasn't a life worth living, nor their journey wasn't worth journeying. It's just what was written for them, or how their life was meant to come together. So take comfort in that at some point, it does come together. Like David, when you think about David's life and how many battles he had to face over the years, he was a troubled man. He had enemies that were haunting his life. But at some point, God gave him rest from all his enemies. And I'm not saying your goals are enemies or whatever. I'm just saying that scripture came to mind when I was thinking about this video, that eventually it will come together. So just take comfort in that. We are definitely 30 minutes into our makeup, but at least we're making progress. We're nearly there. And it's not looking bad. Just doing my eyeshadow now. Don't really do much with eyeshadow. I'm not really like an eyeshadow queen like that. I just make sure that I have some color on there. And then I add my transition colors and blend. We're going for like an orangey pinky today. Like I said, the theme of the wedding is emerald green and burnt orange. So let's have a touch of orange in there. Okay. I love it when makeup looks smooth and not too harsh. I don't know how it's looking up there, but down here it's looking nice and blended, which is lovely. I need to put some contour on my cheeks as well. Just adding my transition color there. I remember, I'm reminded of this song. I'm a sikolonda mweda. Oromilo lua lua. I'm a sikolonda mweda. Oromilo lua lua. Oromilo lua. Lua lua. Lua lua lua. I really love Simi's version of that song. If we deep the lyrics, most of the time we're frustrated because we don't know the timings and the seasons of our life, and we're not meant to. That's why God is all-knowing. Do you understand? Oh dear. So let's do our contour. There's probably a couple of things I want to talk about before I go, but let me look at my notes. Yeah, I think I mentioned it briefly, but I kind of wanted to touch on like making your dreams and your goals your everything. You have to be so careful, which I think is a category that I definitely at some point started to fall into. And this season of my life is breaking that off of me in a way. So sometimes some seasons, God actually can use them to grow you in like new ways. And interestingly enough, I would say that with relationships, it's like, I think it's when it stopped being an idol. Some of these things unknowingly they become an idol when you really desire something. I think it was when I let go. Remember I said, Shemo, all of you menses should just leave me alone. Let me live my life. That was when the blessing came. Sometimes maybe you need to let go so that things can actually manifest the way that God wants them to manifest for you. I'm not saying like that's a perfect theory, but I just find it interesting that was my story when it came to like relationships and like love manifesting, receiving the blessing of the love that I desired. It happened when I let go. So I'm just gonna add my finishing touches now. I've already done my blush or highlights, and then we're gonna do our lashes. Speaking of love, we just celebrated our 2nd year anniversary. We celebrated our 2nd year anniversary, and yeah, that was a really beautiful day. We're both very proud of ourselves and the progress we've made as individuals and as a couple. And we're really grateful to God for 2 years. We are 2 years old as a married couple. And by the grace of God, there will be many, 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 many more years to come. 2 years down, forever to go by the grace of God. Just blending my highlight. I think all that is left is to do my lashes. I'm just gonna put a bit more of this powder under my eyes so that it doesn't crease, because the event is gonna be going on till the evening. And I saw this tip on TikTok actually, like when you're done blending your makeup, just go back in with some powder. That will help to brighten it further as well. Those areas that tend to leak with oil, just making sure they're patted in. Lovely. Just lash now. Lash will look cool. sometimes we do all this motivation online and we're like, oh, you're not failing, you're not behind. Why do we like to lie to ourselves? I think sometimes you're able to move from a place of reality. You're able to take action. For me anyway, like I'm not gonna tell myself, oh, you're not failing, or like it hasn't worked to the level that's a reality. It hasn't worked to the level that I want it to be, and I've to get to, and I feel like that's what's helped me to take appropriate action, to match my current life goals. I feel like if I was sitting in La La Land, and I was like, oh, it's gonna work, and it's good to have that level of delusion, I think, when you're working with your goals. But I think you also need to develop, and learn how to take calculated risks. I feel like that's where I'm at right now in terms of adulting. I love the duo glue, guys. Nothing can ever make me go back to that. Well, never say never, but I prefer it so much more to hair glue, and that's what I used to use when I first started makeup. My sister Sophie still uses hair glue. She actually prefers it to duo, but me, I like duo. I feel like these lashes might be a bit long for my eyes. Something that's coming to mind as I was reflecting, as I'm thinking about what I said about maybe God just wants me to enjoy my marriage right now. Maybe I'm in my lover girl era. And eventually my career girl era, my thriving career girl era will add on to that. It's not that you only have one or the other. Eventually these things, they begin to overlap. And as I say, the different parts of the puzzle, begin to show up, and you have the full picture of your life manifesting. So yeah, just enjoy the phase you're in. If it's the schoolgirl era, if it's your career girl era, I don't want to mess up under my eyes. I just wanted to add some more to this because I was actually in a rush and I was filming this video, as I mentioned, but I mentioned earlier, like I prayed one day when I was younger to be a brilliant student. Being a brilliant student and becoming a first class graduate was a prayer point at one point. And look at me living on the other side of that now. I'm literally living in it. The house, the beautiful home that I live in, unpacking was one of my dreams, at a time where, I wasn't very comfortable with my living situation. And look at that now, I'm literally living in it. Even the job that I have now, even though I do want to upgrade and advance in my career a bit better, as I kind of pivot away or move more into something that's going to make me more financially stable, the job that I have now was also once a prayer point where my previous job was making me very uncomfortable. My hair length sounds so ridiculous, but at one point I actually prayed for hair like my mom's. And look at me now, just casually living in that. There's so many, not even just one, so many answered prayers that I'm living in. I'm sure there's so many that I'm missing right now. But it's like, just look at me now. So why not live in it and enjoy this era, And as I even think about it, where my YouTube channel is right now, although it hasn't reached the level that I kind of wanted it to at this stage, this was once a prayer point. I remember when 1K views was such a big deal, like, oh God, please give me 1K views, give me 1,000 subscribers. And look at me casually, like way beyond and on the other side of that. Another thing that I wanted to say as well is, guys, as your self-esteem grows in this life, you begin to learn and practice the art of loving what loves you. You have to love what loves you. If in this season of my life, the output from content creation is not telling me that this is loving me, I'm going to go elsewhere. Like, I'm going to go where I'm loved. I'm going to go where I can thrive financially. I'll still show up, but I'll give it the kind of energy it gives me. And that takes a lot of self-esteem. I didn't realize how self-esteem shows up, not just like in your interpersonal relationships, but it also shows up in how you navigate careers and, finances and that kind of thing. You have to love what loves you, even when it comes to your career. Guys, Guys, my lashes legit took me like half an hour. What time is it now? Hey. Legit took me like half an hour, but they're done now. This one is a bit funky. I think it's my nails. It's making it a bit harder. But I think they're on now. Let's just do my lips and then we're gonna round up. Put some Carmex on first. And guys, I absolutely hate to say it. Hate to think it, hate to feel it, hate to admit it. But my mama was right. My mama was right. My mother, come and see my mother. My mother, Kenny, she was right. I remember back then, when I first graduated from uni, she used to tell me, like, I know you love this thing, I know you love media, but I think it would be a good idea to have like a stable career outside of it. And I was like, nope. According to my calculations, when you put your all into something, you're gonna get the all back. And that was my thing, you know, that was my motivation. That was the idea that I had. But looking back now, I wasn't taking enough of a calculated risk. I was dreaming like a dreamer. And I wonder how life would have panned out if I listened to that advice from my mom instead of just kind of following my heart. And there's nothing wrong with following your heart, guys. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it works out sooner than you hoped, later than you hoped. But just always remember to take calculated risks. Let me shush whilst I do my lips. If things all worked out, I would have obviously been saying, oh, my mom was wrong. But that's how life works, isn't it? One of my good friends recently made friends with a lady called Maria, and she's, you know, introduced me to this quote. And that is that life is lived forwards and understood backwards. It's powerful, isn't it? I always like to put concealer on my lips. I feel like it makes my nude even more nude. I love a nude lip. And like I said, getting to a place of acceptance with where my journey is at has really helped me to take action. That's why I don't like all those motivations where they're just lying to you. Oh, you haven't failed. Oh, you haven't wasted time. Can we just acknowledge reality so we can move forward, please? Oh, this lash is already lifting. But what I'm gonna do, guys, what's left to do? We need to do our hair. I don't know how I'm gonna do my hair with my nails. I didn't think this thing through. Maybe I should have done the nails after. I've already like slicked my hair backwards and I feel like, this one, I've already done my edges. Let me go grab my wig and start on my hair. Okay, gorgeous people, this is my lovely kinky straight wig, U-part wig that I've been loving lately, especially for like events. It's not like an everyday wig for me because of the clips. You have to insert the clips, but this is where my leave out area is going to be. I've already done my edges, but I feel like I need to just neaten it up a bit more. So I'm using the red one as my sleeking agent. The first time I wore this wig, I didn't do my edges, and oh my god, it looked so bad. So I learned you're meant to do your edges as well when you're wearing these wigs. I curled this wig a while back just with bendy rollers. Hopefully the curls are still intact, so I definitely didn't recurl them last night. I love this wig so much. It matches my texture perfectly, and it's got loads of clips that help you secure it. So first, let's secure it at the back. before I style the wig properly, let me go and wear my dress. Gorgeous people, I've styled the wig a little bit. I just need to straighten my leave outs now. I have to be so careful. Last time I did this, I actually burnt my scalp. Let's finish up off camera and then I'm going to show you the final look. Okay, gorgeous people, I am ready now. I am feeling good, smelling good, looking good. I've got my earrings on. It's lovely gold earrings. Got my bracelet on as well as my gold watch. I like to wear my watch and my bracelet on my right hand. I know it's meant to be on your left, but I'm so used to it. It's a bad habit, I know, but because I'm so used to it. And again, theme of the wedding is emerald green and burnt orange. I went for the green, and this is my look. This lovely silk dress fitting me nicely, hugging all my curves. And yes, I am ready to go to the wedding and I'm about to have a good time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like this video if you liked it, share it with your friends, and comment below on the things I showed you and spoke to you about. I really want to know your opinion on, you know, some of the bits that I've mentioned in this video. It's a very lengthy conversation, but we enjoyed it nevertheless. And until next time guys, peace and love, peace and chunks.